let's just start. Thank you so much for accepting the invite and welcome on board. Welcome to
Thank you for
Legal
having
Edge.
us. Yeah.
Yes. Just a brief introduction about Legal Edge first. So, we've been in this industry for over a decade now, and we have trained thousands and thousands of students who make it to national law schools every year. We've had AIR 1, 2, 3 three times in last 5 years. So I mean,
You had AR 85 also. I am a legal aid
oh
student.
my God! Parth, similar story.
Not for me. I was somewhere else, but fine. I've heard your name very well in all circles.
Yeah. The
So
the,
yeah.
the, the the legacy is pretty unmissable. So I can vouch on that, and I'm so happy to have Ellie alumni also here. So Utkarsh, I think that's we relate on a different level. Thank you so much for accepting the invite. So of course we have set a benchmark and a legacy in the 5-year industry, 5-year category, and we have slowly proceeded and building onto the same momentum in the 3 years LLB category as well. So with different national law schools joining the bandwagon and CNLU finally introducing 3 years LLB category, we thought it's an apt opportunity for us to spread more awareness about it, because we've been interacting with a lot of students, and one thing that we have witnessed and understood is that there's still a lot of scope for students or for graduates to understand how 3-year LLB can be like the next step in their career trajectory and upgrade. So we'll keep this event more around awareness, helping students understand about CNLU entrance test, and in whichever best way we can help them as to how to approach it, etc. So let's just first start with a quick introduction. Utkarsh, the platform is yours.
Hello everyone. I am Utkarsh Bansal. I am graduate of NLU Hyderabad. I have been working with CNLU as a faculty member and teaching legal methods through first year, as well as I am the head and coordinator, Civil Services Study Center.
Uh, uh, um, I sorry to interrupt, but your voice is echoing.
Echoing. Wait a minute. So it happens to be we are in the same room because the entire infrastructure is like closed today. So we are in just one room.
Okay.
And that's the problem.
So I think
Yeah.
just
I
Parth
think
can
better.
unmute himself while
Ha,
you're
ha.
speaking, so it'll be a lot better.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. We'll do that. So yeah, to come again. Hello everyone. My name is Utkarsh Bansal. I am faculty at CNLU. I am also head and coordinator for Civil Services Study Center in CNLU. I have done my graduation from NLU Hyderabad, and I've been joyfully teaching first year's legal methods, and I'm looking forward to take more electives and courses moving forward. And I have been part of this creating this 3-year LLB coursework also. Thank you.
Thank you for the introduction, Utkarsh. Just like again, a warm welcome. And I think very interesting aspect that you're also heading the civil services segment. So one area that we can touch base upon as to how 3 years is a great option for anybody who's also preparing for UPSC. Thank you.
Definitely.
Yeah, thank you so much, Parth. The platform is yours.
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. This is Parth Upadhyay. I'm a graduate of NLS Bangalore, and then I did my LLM from Nalsar, Hyderabad. And since then, I've been teaching at CNLU as an assistant professor, and I take classes for the third and the fourth years, ranging from IPR to jurisprudence to corporate courses such as insolvency and banking laws. And that's been my trajectory since then. Again, in this introduction of the 3-year LLB course, I was closely involved with my colleague Utkarsh. So we have some interesting points to make about that, and I'm looking forward to doing that.
Thank you so much. I think might not be for a lot of our audience, but insolvency has been my interest of law. So good to hear people from like different domains contributing. So let's just any questions that the team has, or we can directly just start with say like discussing the core agenda. So okay, again a very simple question, but I think will help the audience understand that what has been the pre-work behind introducing 3 years LLB, as in what motivated, what transpired, and where does this fit into the larger vision of CNLU Patna?
So I'll go about it. It happens to be, besides this common notion of jumping on the bandwagon, we had a core understanding as to how market conditions are changing. In the market, that idea that only law person coming from hardcore legal background, studying law for 5 years, is the most marketable person to reach to the industry practices. That's not true. It is fast changing as we see the growth of insolvency professionals, patent professionals, people who do maritime law, people who are involved in media and have a degree of English literature and then doing law is increasing. It has been the case with traditional colleges that they used to offer 3-year LLB, but their limitations were lack of innovative electives. In our coursework, in our imagination of 3 year, it is not to the level of traditional universities. We are moving forward to creating taking diverse pool of people from across the disciplines, people who have done UG already, people from engineering, people who have discovered after doing, let's say, something in research and science that they're interested in law, taking this diverse pool and then introducing all these legal methodology, all these legal sciences to them, is creating a set of students who will be out there to market their skills in different places, not just corporate, so-called corporate law firm, but also in-houses, which are something like YRF. YRF is constantly looking for people in media law houses, all these resolution teams, resolution professionalism. All these things are very immensely important when you look at 3-year legal sciences as well as the driver's experience. So this is something that the conception of 3 years started with. And as we move forward, this a very intuitive part of the modern day understanding is that you have to constantly look for better opportunities. You have to constantly look for better, like more rise in income levels. So that way, law in itself provides a professional degree for somebody who's doing, let's say, social sciences. So after doing UG level, working as an academic or working as at some level in social sciences, that person decides to come and become a professional. Law is a good entry point to come into this professional discipline instead of moving between your own primary discipline in UG. So that way, this idea is not just 3 year, but it is 3-year LLB honors. And I'll tell you a very interesting thing that today is quite a occasionally celebratory moment for us. Today itself, a few hours back, we got a communication from NIRF, National
The
Framework Ranking
rankings.
Framework, that that among the NLUs we are seventh in number.
Yeah, I
We
mean,
are seventh in number.
congratulations. I was going through the NIRF rankings, I was working on something, and I did go
Yes.
through the NIRF rankings. So,
Yeah,
congratulations.
it's a big feat. It's a big feat because among all the NLUs, so-called traditionally higher up NLUs, CNLU is standing out, constantly improving. So that shows how market is responding to us also
Yes.
in 5 years, and we want to replicate those results in 3 years. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Utkarsh. I think
If I
Utkarsh
could
laid the
just
foundation. Yeah,
add
yeah,
to
Parth.
the very valid points. Yeah, so like I have another approach or another reason or of motivation for the 3-year LLB course is that sometimes we go through those kind of things in life where we need to change careers. Career changes. You have people who want to switch from something to the other. I personally myself have gone through that. I switched from corporate towards academia, and I think a lot of people do go through that. We can't just be in a perfect world where we write out of our 12th standard school. We just decide that this is what I'm going to do and I'll get cemented in it. So I think the 3-year LLB course also gives that kind of flexibility to people of getting or of attaining a NLU education. Uh, those who have already tried their hand in something and now would like to change for whatever personal reasons that there are, right? So it's a good avenue to explore for them as well.
Yeah, I think I'm on board with that thought. That it's a career upgrade actually. So I mean, you're a graduate from any college, and so a very traditional option is to go masters in that particular discipline, or you go for MBA, but it's like a third avenue opportunity that you have in terms of career opportunities, a career upgrade. So, and with with an institution like National University Patna, an institution of that eminence, when it takes that when it's here and is introducing 3 years LLB, it's a big push to everybody who's been looking for such career upgrade. So on that note, moving forward, so this question again stems from all the myths around and all the questions that have been getting from students as well, that 5 year versus 3 year, is it that 5 year is like a little more advantageous, or in terms of recruitment, if law firms prioritize 5 year graduates? So how is the 3 year course designed, and how is it different from 5 year, and will the 3 year students have the same set of opportunities in terms of specialization? Will they get to study the niche areas of law, and I mean all nuances, just to like list commercial, corporate, IPR, etc. So more or less the framework of how the course has been designed. I mean, either of you can go first.
I'll try and answer that if it's okay. I mean, the curriculum of the 3 year LLB course was designed after due deliberations with all of the faculty of CNLU Patna throughout very detailed faculty meetings. And, faculty from all different disciplines of economics, of social sciences, management, and law included, of course. And after that, a very comprehensive curriculum for the 3 year LLB course was designed. And it was kept in mind that the academic rigor will not be any less than the 5 year course. The 3 year course will also be as rigorous as, and if not more rigorous than the 5 year course. So in that way, there will not be any difference. However, we have kept in mind some differences that can exist, because the demographic that will be entering the 3 year LLB course will be quite different from the people who are coming for the 5 year LLB course, because they are coming right after your 12th standard. सीधे स्कूल से आ रहे हैं और उसके बाद वो यहीं इसी कॉलेज के थ्रू बढ़ रहे हैं, और यहीं उनकी जो कह सकते हैं कि उनका सारा का सारा ग्रूमिंग विद इन द इंस्टीट्यूशन होता है. But in a 3 year LLB course, people from diverse walks of lives are coming. People from diverse disciplines are coming, from tech to arts to sciences and humanities. So what is happening is we need to keep that in mind, and that will be done when we unpack the curriculum for them. That will be how we'll keep that in mind while we start teaching on the different courses. Other than that, another major point regarding this is that we also have it in our mind that many of these people who will be coming for the 3 year LLB course have already had that initial brush with either work experience or life outside university. So again, curriculum will be delivered in a way that will be easier for them to internalize and process, as compared to the 5 year integrated course. But as far as the quality is concerned, it was the first and foremost foundational point of agreement that it will be the same as the 5 year course. And the detailed list of the kind of curriculum and the subjects can be seen from our brochure, which has already been uploaded on the website of CNLU under the tab of 3 year LLB admissions. So all the subjects, the detailed breakup of the curriculum is all given over there.
Yeah, we'll also have it say like shared with the students. So I think key takeaways that the course does not in any sense will compromise on the academic rigor, but whatever adjustments or tweaks are needed so that it's conducive for individuals who've already had a taste of life, like either graduates or like final year of graduation or have been working. So I've been, just to highlight, we've been training a few students for 3 year LLB entrances, and the age spectrum is from 20 to 52. So the oldest enrollment that we have is 52, and it's super interesting and super inspiring to see that kind of enthusiasm wherein you're taking that step. So point well taken. Utkarsh, anything that you would want to add to it?
I would like to add that, like, of course, the list is available online. But once you go through the list, you'll realize the bouquet of electives we are offering. It is quite unprecedented for even NLU structures who are offering 3-year LLB to offer these so-called electives, so that you can pick and choose. There'll be about 36 subjects in distribution of 6 semesters that you'll be studying. And it's not that you have to study everything that is given by the universities. There are choices even within these 36 subjects. So there'll be specific things called electives, which we'll be doing. Something like corporate governance for people who are looking at like hardcore corporate jobs. Something like artificial intelligence and law, which is a coming up field. As you see the training about for 3 years, you will see how much of artificial intelligence and law would develop. And they'll be developing with these 3-year people who will enter the course. There'll be people who will be interested in gender justice, people from social science background who want to take up this social activism or social cause at a level of advocacy. We are offering a special elective for that amount. And to not amiss, we are offering mood training right in the first semester, which is not in the case of the 3 years or 5 years. In 3 years, in the first semester itself, we are offering a MOOC clinic, which is quite wonderful that you start on with a hands-on practice of law. The way you articulate, the way you manifest law in words and represent it to the judge in panel. So this is a skill which cannot be taught in a traditional university. It can be taught in a NLU structure, and the way we are dispensing it is quite imaginative, quite innovative.
Yeah, I think Utkarsh's screen was frozen for a moment. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I think for our audience, I would just want to break it down like in a simpler terms that electives are additional, it's discretionary subjects offered by any university. So you have like a set of core subjects, say like CPC, contracts, criminal, and electives is solely the discretion of the institution. And for Patna to include corporate governance, gender justice, I think huge highlights, because these are like really niche areas that generally you don't pick up, but once if they're introduced as a part of your curriculum, you get introduced to them and then you can pick them up basis interest. And the same time, moot is a very happening activity in any law school. Again, for our audience, it's basically simulation of court proceedings. You have a lot of fun preparing for it, and you learn a lot out of it. So mood training right from the first year of law school is again a huge delta and a huge highlight. So I am really intrigued and excited about the 3 years LLB curriculum, CNLU Patna, and I'm sure all prospective students would be too. So Utkarsh mentioned a unique point that things like this are only possible in an NLU structure, and traditional universities often fall short of offering all of this. Could you like reflect a little more upon it, because this was one of the questions that that I planned, I mean the due course of the interview, but since it has come up, so how is this 3-year LLB curriculum and structure, the way it would be taught, would be different from a traditional setup? Because 5-year law, the integrated program, is a very NLU dominated scenario, I would say, but 3-year is still very localized, and you see local traditional colleges offering 3 years LLB. So how's it, what's the distinction here? How would this curriculum or the teaching pedagogy or the way we are catering to the students would be different from the traditional universities?
So in traditional system, एक कहावत है कि आप दुक्की पढ़ो, you can sail throughout 3 years. You can easily pass through subject. This is not the approach we are taking up in CNLU. So whenever your class engagement is happening, it's happening at readings which are not available in market. जो कि research paper है by scholars teaching in Harvard, teaching in Yale, teaching in LS, teaching in NASA. उसको we try to make it a real reality experience. When you are dealing with a criminal law case, वहां पर आपसे खाली स्टैचू नहीं पूछता जज. यू टॉक अबाउट द मेरिट ऑफ द केस, कि इंसान का इंटेंशन क्या था, मोटिव क्या था, इंटरेस्ट क्या था. That can come not by books, that can come only by experience. So we have that set of faculties who come up with this experience, as Parth also shared that he's coming from corporate background. I did litigation for some while, I also worked with a judge for some while, and then I come to academia. Similarly, we have teachers who are practicing law as well as doing this. So as we move about, we realize this experience cannot be given at traditional universities, wherein the approach is rote learning. We are much more about experiential learning. For that matter, when I'm addressing my students, when I'm teaching legal methods, I'm using something called flipped classes. कि जो classes है उसमें आप रीडिंग नहीं करेंगे, उसमें आप स्टैचू नहीं पढ़ेंगे, आप स्टैचू पढ़कर आएंगे, आपको रीडिंग करके आनी है. देन वी अप्लाई द लॉ. I'll give you situation, you apply the law. So you see how law becomes different when you apply to different contexts. This is what you have to do as a lawyer, as a professional, to deal with real life situation. This cannot be garnered by a traditional university. It's very difficult to garner. And CNLU, as we move about, as our ranking also represents, that we are having this talent in our faculty who are trying to resonate these experiences with their children, and which they will reciprocate in their professional life.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, thank you so much for such an elaborative thought, because something that I get a lot from the students is कि अच्छा ठीक है, 3 और ही तो करना है, कहीं से कर लेते हैं, don't have to attend classes. They fail to understand that law in theory and law in practice, there's significant, there's a humongous difference, and it's only with faculty with that sort of experience who can help you bridge it. So again, I mean, for all attending, CNLU has that sort of offering. So I hope like a lot of them will make it to CNLU. Parth, anything that you would want to add?
Yeah, so in fact, building on what Utkarsh said, that all these electives, your clinical courses, which are focused towards industry-specific areas, as well as a very good ecosystem of internship guidance that we can provide. That's another thing that you will see in a NLU, which you might not see in a traditional university offering a 3-year course, right? Like our career and internship cell, the kind of guidance that they can give to the students for attaining internships, for getting internships, it makes a lot of difference in making you industry ready. And the industry today is not very, they are very hasty. They don't have the kind of
It's
patience that they
bullish in
can
nature.
kind of, yeah, we can say that we were trying to be a bit circumspect. For us, we'll have to rely on them for recruitment, but yeah, it is bullish in nature.
Nature.
And they don't have that kind of patience. They want you to be industry ready, and that can happen through a good pedagogy and through a good curriculum, as well as the kind of atmosphere that NLU can provide towards internships and other opportunities. And so that you might not, it will be very difficult or hard to find that in a traditional university in a 3-year course setup, which you can find here. And that's what makes this option very lucrative for students who want to join.
Well, I think we've very much laid the foundation of all the objective metrics as to how would this differ from a traditional university. So quickly moving on to, if both of you could reflect and share in detail about the CNLU entrance test, the paper pattern, the syllabus, a little about the eligibility, and we can also like in detail discuss a little as to you know the student who should consider. So there will be like a lot of graduates or students in in college in their final year of graduation. So something that we try and answer that this is ideal for. So a little about that.
So I'll try and begin with the eligibility part of it. So as if you will go through the brochure as well, you will find that anybody who has a undergraduate degree in any discipline at all is eligible to apply for the 3-year LLB course. The only restrictions are of the kind of marks, the aggregate of marks or the percentage of marks that you have attained in that particular course. And for that, the minimum percentage is 55% marks for candidates of the SC and ST category, while it is 60% marks for every other category, including the general, the backward classes, and EWS, and even persons with disabilities. So it'll be 55 for those two, SC and ST categories, while 60% for the others. Also, candidates who have appeared in the final semester or final year examination of the qualifying degree, which would be the one that you are already done with, they are also eligible to sit for the test. However, they'll have to give their final result at the time of admission if they do make it through the test. So, in any case, you can still appear
Appear
for
for the
it. We
exam.
will not, yeah, right. That would be regarding the eligibility. Of course, the admissions or the selections will be through the entrance test, which will be a 2 hour exam, 120 minutes with 120 questions, which will be 1 mark each, while there will also be a negative marking of 0.25 per wrong answer. And I'll give it over to Utkarsh to explain the syllabus of the exam.
So if we go about the syllabus point by point, there are three parts to it. One is general English. Second is general awareness, not knowledge. General awareness.
Awareness.
Yeah. And third, general and critical reasoning. So coming on to general awareness first, why I emphasized on awareness. Uh, the understanding of general knowledge comes from those one of those books, Lucent, Arihant. But these are books which are not used in higher education learning. These are restricted to older pattern of CLAT. Even now, CLAT has changed to much more of general awareness. Now, what does general awareness mean? The course curriculum says it is paramaterial to UPSC
UPSC
level prelims.
prelims.
Yeah,
I must
yeah,
say, I was very excited to read it. Of all the
yeah.
three or LLB entrances syllabus that I have read, so to see that, that's the kind of bar and challenge that you are setting with students, truly very appreciative.
It is not just a challenge, it is a kind of opportunity to figure out that people who mug up the most will not get it.
Get it?
People who use their common sense. UPSC, being part of the UPSC circle for so long, being like coordinating the center for UPSC, I know one thing for sure that you can come up with the answer in UPSC prelims if you apply your brain within those options. So you have to go through these UPSC paper. People who are saying they couldn't figure out general awareness, instead of going through these traditional digest books, जाइए PYQ पढ़िए, रियलाइज कीजिए कि कैसे सॉल्व करते हैं. देयर आर लॉट ऑफ videos available online, there are a lot of material available online. Figure out that how UPSC ask questions. Those are resonating with your awareness as you read paper, as you hear news all every day. But Hannah, you have to eliminate those answers, those options which are not matching those common sense. So you have to just use your pre-existing knowledge base. अगर आप engineering background से हैं, there will be some science level questions also. If you are from social sciences, of course there will be some questions for polity and history. If you are from, let's say, biology background, then again this idea of sciences, involvement of sciences, agriculture, all of this is present in our coursework in UPSC. So do not emphasize too much on reading too much. Instead of begin to solve the questions much more elaborately, much more reflectively. That is the coursework for general awareness. General English is the CLAD pattern, AI-led pattern, reading comprehensions, grammars, vocabulary, verbal ability. So emphasis is much more on setting up a minimum qualifier in terms of the amount of English that you need to get into entrance. Then the third part is general and critical reasoning, which means there will be quantitative as well as qualitative questions. We have not put legal awareness or legal reasoning as one of the curriculum because it's our core belief. It's a belief of our uh, Vice Chancellor Faizan Mustafa that you cannot expect people to know reasoning of law before coming to law school. Whatever you will be reading will be redone in law school. So we have instead put something like critical reasoning. What does critical reasoning involve? Critical reasoning involve assertions, reasoning, inferences, conclusions. जो आप बात बोल रहे हैं उसका तात्पर्य क्या है, और वही ऑप्शंस में आ रहा है. जो आप बात बोल रहे हैं उसका संदर्भ क्या है, वो ऑप्शंस में आ रहा है. फिर उसके बाद जनरल रीजनिंग जो होती है वो होती है क्वांटिटेटिव, समथिंग लाइक ब्लड रिलेशंस, समथिंग लाइक नंबर सीरीज. These are things that are staple to all exams. So it's not unprecedented. The real innovation lies that we have eliminated this idea of legal reasoning because it is very disputed. I cannot, even judges cannot come with a one answer to a case.
Yeah, yeah.
How can a examination can come to one conclusion? So these three divisions have 40, 40, 40 marks. So in total 120 marks, and as my colleague said, it will be around for 2 hours. It will have a negative marking also. So that sums up the structure of the coursework. Now coming to the preparation, try to read the newspaper more. Try to go through the current affairs. Don't mug up current affairs. Try to go back and solve CLAT papers. That will help you out in general English, and for that matter, critical reasoning and general reasoning. These are AI-led and CLAT level stuff. It will not completely mirror it, but it will represent the kind of skills we require to solve these papers.
Thank you so much, Utkarsh. I'll just take a moment since you mentioned Faizan sir. I'm a huge fan of his intellect. I think a lot of people are. His intellect, his articulation. So for him to be leading the institute is again, I think, a huge plus. So quickly circling back. So the exam is on 14th, like 10 days from here. So students have not really had too much of time, a little crunched, and I think not a very clear roadmap as to how to go about it. So if you could just help them understand. So say for instance, if we mention general awareness, or if we say current affairs, so the last 6 months current affairs, last 12 months, last 3 months, I know it'll be like too much of detail, but I'm just throwing off examples that maybe like if you could help them set up a clearer roadmap and have much more idea as to how to go about it.
कि जब मैं यूपीएससी स्टार्ट कर रहा था, मैंने अपने मेंटर से बात करी. मैंने पूछा कि कितने टाइम तक के मैं न्यूज़पेपर पढूं. मैं 6 महीने के पढूं, मैं 12 महीने के पढूं, मैं 24 महीने के पढूं. तो he says कि अगर इंडिया पाकिस्तान वॉर जून में स्टार्ट हुआ है तो उससे पहले बात तो मई से स्टार्ट हो गई थी. ठीक है. सो न्यूज़, इफ यू रीडिंग न्यूज़पेपर्स, नॉट करंट अफेयर्स मैगजीन्स, यू विल रियलाइज कि न्यूज़ वही चलती रहती है.
It's repetitive, yeah.
It develops over the time. ठीक है. So instead of going up and mugging up these institutional current affairs, try to just go through any material available in the market. It can be Legal Edge, it can be some other institution that provides you certain amount of bite as to what happened. ठीक है. Instead of reading the specific facts, because this is the same thing we are standing up against. We are not up against rote learning. We are up against mugging up. ठीक है. This is the core importance of any kind of reasoning. कि आप ये फैक्ट वाला पार्ट हटा दीजिए, आप कॉन्टेक्स्ट डालने की कोशिश कीजिए कि अगर इंडिया पाकिस्तान के अंदर वॉर हुआ है तो व्हाट इट इन्वॉल्व्स, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ मिलिट्री कैपेबिलिटीज इट इन्वॉल्व्स, व्हाट ऑल फोर्सेस आर इन्वॉल्व्ड. ये न्यूक्लियर की बात चलती रहती है. व्हाट डज न्यूक्लियर मीन, हाउ डज इट ऑपरेट. सो ऑल ऑफ दिस इज content available across materials. You have to just know the context instead of mugging up. Okay, this is for general awareness. And English, as I said, you solve couple of papers, past year papers from CLAT. You solve couple of general awareness questions from UPSC, CSAT of anything before 2023. CSAT has changed in 2023. Yeah. And you solve CSAT, you solve for that matter CLAT pattern from before. You solve AI-led. You will find critical reasoning questions, assumptions. You will find inferences. All of these are part of larger coursework that we are. और ये skill है. It's not कि आप 10 दिन पढ़ेंगे तो आ जाएगी. जो आपने already पढ़ा है 3 साल तक, जो आपकी the FD, so to say, the fixed deposit that you have in your mind, that will help out. You have to just scale it up. And this is not a hard and fast test. And for any test, as a prior student of legal edge, that is what even Harsh sir told me before the exam. कि सो फ्लैट से पहले 2 रात पहले बिल्कुल पढ़ना छोड़ दो, मॉक करना छोड़ दो, जस्ट गो एंड स्लीप and Hannah, just do your best. So just go there, do your best, do as many questions, and try to figure out which are the negative ones wherein you are falling apart. Try to create a symmetry, negative और positive में क्या symmetry बन रही है. 20 marks अगर 20 marks ऐसे हैं जिसमें आप doubtful हो, तो it's fine because you're scoring 60 there.
Yes.
ठीक है?
Yeah, as like as HG says, as Harsher says, like it's always been the beacon for a lot of students that your weak subject has to be at least good on your D day. So yeah, I think just building on to that, whatever that is you've studied, just try and build onto it, work and focus a lot more in understanding the layers than just superficially reading stuff. Parth, anything that you would want to add to it?
What I would also suggest is that whatever days are left, I know it's a short period of time, but keep abreast with the practice on your critical reasoning part of it, because those are the questions that take a lot of time to solve. See, current affairs, general awareness, all of these things, you either know or you don't know, और वो
Yes.
questions वो वहीं पे खत्म हो जाएंगे, आपको पता है. उसके बाद the major chunk of time you have to give for your critical reasoning or ये सब जो the rest of the paper, general and critical reasoning, and that is a part where practice can make it a sure shot scoring part, right? General awareness and general English sometimes it's the that last step is also as to what kind of questions show up, but critical reasoning or general reasoning is something where practice ke bina, if you don't keep constant practice, then it becomes problematic. So that would be a part where like score can be bettered because you will have a healthy amount of time in solving that. So getting to know the tricks and tips of reasoning, general reasoning, or critical reasoning, may or those verbal logic, all those tricks, those can come in handy, I think.
I understood. So okay, quickly circling back, last question. Where do you guys see the 3-year LLB program in the next 5-10 years?
See, this idea of seeing 5 साल में 10 साल में दुनिया चेंज हो रही है, तो there is no one answer to it. But what we hope that we find people not in litigation, not just in litigation, not in corporate, not just in corporate, and not in in-house, and not just in in-house, but in non-traditional roles. Things like what I said, insolvency professions, real estate managers.
Managers.
There's a big market for real estate managers. There's a big market for IPR professionals who work with multimedia OTT platforms. There's a big market for people. There are batchmates of mine who have become rock stars. There are batchmates of mine who have become influencers also. One of the one of the big YouTube channels is being operated by one of my seniors in LLM.
Oh,
So yeah, so we are, and all of this comes through creativity of ecosystem in traditional universities, in universities which do not occupy uh, that teacher to student hierarchy. वहां पर creativity ज़्यादा easy होती है. वहां पर एक developing yourself is a better and more brisk. And these are people who already have some experience. They just need a little exposure to this ecosystem we are trying to recuperate. Then we have faculty from NUS. We have faculty from even studied from London. Parth is from NLS. And I've done my education in from NLU Hyderabad. All of this is bringing up a lot of diverse backgrounds, diverse recipe into one dish. And what you
yes.
take out of the dish is your takeaway. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you learn the most from interaction. So every individual
Yes.
is a story in themselves, and they have a lot to teach.
Yes.
So being exposed, I think, is a big
And all of
advantage.
these and all of these are very remunerative careers. वो जमाने गए जब खाली वकील कमाते थे, जब
Yes,
खाली
yes.
कॉर्पोरेट लॉयर्स कमाते थे.
Yeah, I think a gazillion career opportunities, and you can make money. You just need the right skill set for the industry. You have to be
Yes,
industry ready. That's all. Parth,
yes.
anything in particular that you would want to add?
I just have a more bit more sober addition to like the optimism that Utkarsh has already laid down very well, right? For in 5-10 years, I see this program as being one of the top like flagship 3 years, right? Because the problem with the 5 year program is that you have to enter through a rigorous entrance test, which for many reasons sometimes doesn't work out for people, and you just can't keep giving repetitive attempts. There are personal reasons, whatever reasons, and it should not be coming at the cost of taxation of the talent, right? Going to other areas of pursuit, academic pursuit or professional pursuit. And I think this program will be like the main gateway, and that's what our vision is as also, that 3 year LLB, that area we want to carve out a niche where people say that अगर 3 year करना है तो फिर वहां से करो, because then you can have a very big impactful contribution to the area of law, that if you do your degree from there, even in a 3 year format. So that's how I place it in my mind, that we are basically looking for people who want to have that kind of contribution to the field.
I mean, it's good to hear two equally thought-provoking perspectives, like slightly traditionalistic, slightly unconventional. But yeah, it was. Thank you so much, Par. Thank you so much, Utkarsh. It was really fun interacting. I learned a lot about the curriculum, about I mean, the all the pre-work, the conceptualization. It was really, really fun interacting. I hope you guys also had a good time sharing all
Definitely.
the information. And yeah, to all attending this session, I would request any questions, just drop it down in the comment section. We'll be more than happy to take up. And hoping for the all the best for the first edition and to many more editions to come.
Well,
Thank you so much.
thank you. Yeah, thank you so
Yes.
much for having us.